coming soon from Walt Disney Pictures. When he shrunk the kids, he promised his shrinking days were over.
All right, shrink machine, one last time.
But Rick Moranis has done it again.
We have critical mass.
Only this time,
Are we shrunk?
You shrunk us!
he's still got a few bugs to work out. From the makers of the smash hit Honey, I Shrunk the Kids comes a hilarious new movie, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
You idiot! Don't you They can step on us!
Now, they'll go to any lengths
I'm scared stiff.
and any heights to get the kids' attention before it's too late.
Get ready to party. You can't have a party.
What are you gonna do about it, Thumbelina? You are dead meat, mister!
Gordon, you're 3/4 of an inch tall.
It's the fastest,
Hold on! It's a jump!
The laundry chute!
it's the funniest,
We're going over!
I don't think we're using enough fabric softener. Jump! Hang on.
To what?
it's the tastiest,
They're teenage girls. How much can they eat? Watch out!
and it's the wildest motion picture event of the year. Disney's Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
You know, Dad, I didn't invite those boys over.
Coming exclusively to video.
Welcome, one and all, to Patreon Request Month on Escape from Walt Disney, the podcast where we review movies, TV shows, and short films available on Disney Plus, chosen mostly completely at random. I am your host, Tony Goldmark. Joining us today via Zoom, all the way from Los Angeles, California, ANARKEE.
Oh, hi. Hello, I'm first.
All the way from Studio City, California, GARRETT SNOOK.
Slightly outside of Los Angeles.
And all the way from Montreal, Quebec, Animat himself, Matt Brunet.
Hey everybody, I'm the one not from California.
But you are from Canada, which is another CA, so it gets confusing sometimes.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Like I said, it is the second week of our 4th annual Patreon Request Month, and this week the randomizer, in its infinite wisdom, has picked Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves from 1997, requested by Andrew Weiss. Who here in this call has seen or heard of Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves?
No idea what this
It
is.
used to be on Disney Channel Nightly Movie Night or whatever they called it all the time, I feel like.
I haven't seen it, but I definitely have heard of it. Like, I am familiar with the Honey, We Shrunk series.
Well, I actually have seen this movie. I definitely had this on VHS when I was a kid, and I watched it a few times, but it was around the time when I was starting to age out of Disney shit, and I have not seen it since, so it will be interesting to revisit it. This is, of course, the second sequel, the third movie in the Honey, We Shrunk-averse, which, of course, started with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in 1989, starring Rick Moranis as Wayne Zelinsky, the harebrained inventor of the shrink ray, and that was a huge hit, bigger than anyone was expecting. It was followed in 1992 with Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, where instead of making the kid small, they made a kid big. And then in 1997, we finally got a third movie, and it was a direct-to-video movie, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, where instead of shrinking the kids, it was the adults that were shrunk. That's about as creative as the series got. Of course, we also had the Epcot and Tomorrowland attraction, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. And shortly after Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, we also had the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids TV series, where they were not able to get Rick Moranis. Instead, they got the late, great Peter Scolari as Wayne Zelinsky.
Wayne takes the family on a little trip.
Honey, I shrunk us.
And this time, they'll see Grandpa from the inside. Honey, we've been swallowed by Grandpa.
But they did get Rick Moranis back for this third movie, and I do believe it is his very last live-action movie appearance, although he did do an episode of Muppets Tonight a few months after this.
That's not how you work a shrinking machine, Bunsen. Well, you gotta set it to maximum Banfield width.
What does that mean?
Turn this sucker up!
And in the years since, he's done some voice work here and there, most notably in the movie Brother Bear, and every so often you see him in an SCTV reunion, but For the most part, after this movie, he basically retired from acting. I think his wife died around this time, and he basically retired to look after his kids. And even in recent years, he's turned a lot of stuff down. Peyton Reed wanted to give him a cameo in the first Ant-Man movie.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Specifically in the scene where Scott Lang puts on the suit for the first time and he's falling through the various apartments in his building. The idea was that Rick Moranis would be in one of the apartments eating a bowl of Cheerios. And of course, like every cast member of Ghostbusters, he was offered a cameo in the 2016 Ghostbusters, and he was pretty much the only one to turn it down, who was still alive, obviously.
He might go for like season 3 of Only Murders in the Building or something.
Maybe, but I will say, for a while, there was a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reboot in development, specifically for Disney Plus, where Josh Gad would have played the adult version of Wayne's son, Nick, and Rick Moranis was gonna return for that. They, officially confirmed that he had committed to it, but then the pandemic happened and Disney canceled a whole bunch of projects, and that was one of them. So we have yet to get the official Rick Moranis-sance, unfortunately.
I weep.
But someday. I know one of the titular we who shrinks themselves is Rick Moranis' brother, played by Stuart Penkin, who is probably best known as the voice of Earl Sinclair on Dinosaurs.
Oh, I hear it now.
And another interesting casting note, one of the kids' friends in this movie is, I believe, the very first screen appearance of a young Mila Kunis.
What?
Really?
Oh, I did see that when I just Googled the movie because I didn't know what this was.
So this is like a Sam Rockwell Ninja Turtle situation.
Pretty much, yeah. And then she was the Wicked Witch.
Oh my god, that happened.
That was my first time at an Alamo Draft House. And you were there, Tony.
That's right, we were. Oh my god, Joel Hodgson co-wrote this.
That's who it was. I knew that this had like a surprising writing credit on it, but I just couldn't remember the name. But yeah, it was Joel.
This actually has quite a few talented writers on it. Not just Joel, but also Nell Scovell, who created the Sabrina the Teenage Witch series, and Carrie Kirkpatrick, who wrote James and the Giant Peach and Chicken Run and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movie. He's done a bunch of stuff. And the director of this is Dean Cundy, who is a legendary cinematographer. He was the DP on Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Jurassic Park and all 3 Back to the Future movies. In fact, he even had a cameo in Back to the Future Part 3 as, fittingly enough, the photographer who takes Doc and Marty's old-timey photograph.
Ready, gentlemen? The only problem is we'll never be able to show it to anybody. Smile, Doc.
Tony, you're naming a lot of good properties, but this has a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm scared now.
Yeah, well, it is a direct-to-video sequel, and all that implies. Okay. This was the only film that Dean Cundy directed, as opposed to just DP'd. So yeah, good at making things look good, or at least as good as a direct-to-video budget will allow, but maybe not so good at putting a whole movie together.
Did he previously had experience with the other Honey, I Shrunk movies?
It does not appear that he did, although to be fair, neither did most of the actors in this movie. I mentioned that Rick Moranis came back to play Wayne, but Marcia Strassman, who played his wife Diane in the first 2 movies, did not come back for this one, nor did any of the kids.
And what of Carrie Russell, or was she too busy doing Felicity at that time?
I think a very young Carrie Russell was just in Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
Oh, okay.
I think the excuse they made was that Nick had gone off to college, if I remember correctly.
They air-butted it.
So no reason to have his girlfriend in there. The one kid character who was in either of the previous movies was Adam, the kid who got blown up in the second one.
Wow.
Played by Bug Hall in this movie. Remember Bug Hall? He was in stuff.
Googling.
He was in the Little Rascals movie.
He's very handsome, my goodness. I just saw modern day Bug Hall, and hot damn.
Oh.
And apparently he voiced one of the little kids in Hercules.
Oh.
Jeepers, mister, you're really strong.
He was in a made-for-TV Disney movie called Safety Patrol, which I mainly know because until Weird the Al Yankovic Story came out, it was Al's second biggest role in any movie ever.
Oh, he was also the very hot boy in Get a Clue, if anybody remembers that Disney Channel original.
Yes, that's why he looks vaguely familiar to me.
See, this is why it's so fascinating to do this podcast and have multiple generations of Disney fans interacting with each other. ANARKEE doesn't recognize Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves at all, but she immediately recognizes Get a Clue.
This movie came out 1 year after I was born. I don't know what's going on.
And Honey, I Shrunk the Anything never had a single by the British pop duo Simon and Milo. Hello, thank you.
But not for lack of trying, I'm sure.
My exposure to this franchise is just what's at the parks. I truly have no idea about about any of these movies.
Yeah, obviously there was Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, a 3D attraction that replaced Captain EO at various Disney parks in the 90s and ran for over a decade before being replaced by Captain EO again after Michael Jackson died. And also at Disney's Hollywood Studios, for a long time, they had this children's play area called the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie set adventure.
Yes.
That'd be lit.
Which was made to look like a giant backyard with giant blades of grass you could slide down and climbing ropes that looked like spider webs, that kind of thing.
And there's the giant ant.
There's the corpse of a giant ant.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
That's grim.
Lest we forget Auntie's sacrifice.
It was kind of the precursor to a Bug's Land at DCA before that went away, of course. As did the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie set adventure, which was one of several attractions that got bulldozed to make way for Florida's Galaxy's Edge. Like I said, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was a much bigger hit than even the studio anticipated, although they did release it with a Roger Rabbit short, Tummy Trouble, which couldn't have hurt.
Oh yeah.
But it was released in the middle of one of the biggest blockbuster summers ever, the same summer that killed UHF, in fact. I always keep bringing it back to Weird Al movies. I'm obsessed.
Almost like you like that guy or something.
Yeah, almost.
We were opening against Batman, Lethal Weapon, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Do the Right Thing, and Indiana Jones, all at the same time.
I'm pretty sure Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was released the same weekend as Batman, and it surprisingly held its own against Batman as an effective bit of counter-programming.
It's time for Who Do You Trust? Hubba, hubba, hubba. Money, money, money. Who do you trust?
And when it did well, when Disney realized, okay, we've got a viable franchise here, we definitely want to make at least one sequel, they immediately trademarked like 100 potential titles for that sequel that began with the word honey. Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. Those were the three that got made, but there were also Honey, I Shrunk Grandma, Honey, I Swallowed the Dog, Honey, I Cloned the Kids, Honey, I Shot the President, Honey, I Blew the Mailman.
Honey, I Defenestrated the Pope.
Every last fucking iteration of it was immediately copyrighted by Disney, and they used 3 of them.
I have no idea what to think about this. I'm kind of excited.
You know, everything these days is about interconnected franchises and cinematic universes. What happened to the good old days when you could have an entire series about verbing nouns?
This low-key has like an interconnected universe at the parks, because I've had my friends explain the lore of that Figment ride and all the professors on it.
Oh my gosh, that's
yeah.
right.
Oh,
Because,
man.
yeah, Eric Idle is in the Honey, I Shrunk attraction.
Yeah, Figment does have an in-park connection to the Honey, We Shrunk-averse. The current human that Figment fucks with on the ride is Eric Idle as Dr. Nigel Channing, who was introduced in Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia.
And fun fact, Eric Idle was a last-minute replacement. Originally, Raul Julia was cast in that role.
Aww.
Yeah, I don't think anyone knew how close to death he was, and he fell very ill just a few days before they were going to start shooting, and they were scrambling to find someone to replace him, and Marcia Strassman, who played Diane, went back to her hotel bar and happened to run into Eric Idle, and they knew each other, and she's telling him about the production troubles with Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, and he just says, well, I'm not doing anything this week. So that chance encounter resulted in Eric Idle getting that job and eventually led to Figment fucking with him for like 20 fucking years now.
Didn't an invention of his accidentally shrink his children?
Well,
And didn't he also lose the tiny children in the
I
backyard?
don't think lose is quite the right
And
word.
didn't the professor also accidentally enlarge his son Adam,
Now, the media blew that up out of all proportion.
who nearly destroyed Las Vegas?
I did go to Disney World a few months ago, and I do recall that there's a few references to the Honey, We Shrunk movies. There's the mural where we see Dr. Nigel Channing, and then we see Robin Williams from Flubber.
Right,
And then
right.
there was also Rick Moranis as Wayne Zielinski. But also within the ride, there were a few little Easter eggs where I think they made replica props from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. In the eye section, you see on the table a bunch of little contraptions, and one of them was the headset Wayne Zielinski was wearing in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Right.
But what of the head of the ant corpse? That's what really matters here.
Well, that was stolen by the same people who stole Buzzy, I'm sure. Please enjoy this beautiful music, folks, and we will be right back with our thoughts on the 1997 direct-to-video sequel, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, right here on Escape from Walt Disney.
Come on home. See what's waiting for you.
Hey, we just watched Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. That sure was a movie where they shrunk themselves, alright? That existed.
What the fuck was that?
It was a 90s movie, you know? It was extremely 90s. Divorced from nostalgia of it, I can't really say it was anything special, really. Watching it again, it was just there. Take it or leave it.
It's funny that it was released in the late 90s because you'd expect this from the early 90s.
Yeah. The big 90s signifiers are the things that corporations thought kids were into, like fucking rollerblading.
What's a record? Think of it like a CD player.
Yeah.
Your dad's invention is going to be in the Smithsonian alongside the gramophone.
What's a gramophone?
An early record player.
What's a record player?
An early CD player.
What's a CD player?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird how technology has circled around to where nowadays kids might be more familiar with record players.
There's a hot boy who talks like this.
Oh, God.
I hated that fucking kid.
Hey,
so
I'm a hot
much.
teenage boy and I talk like this.
I don't know what it says about your direct-to-video movie about shrinking when the most impressive scene in it is the forward-thinking monologue about the importance of consent.
Yes!
I was so proud of her.
Oh my god.
This is great. This is fantastic.
It was the one part that has something. It has a very good moral about being conscious of when to say no.
And when you need to ask permission to fucking make a move. That was literally the only scene that's remarkable about this movie in any way.
You just assumed that I wanted you to kiss me. I mean, I don't even know you. And even if I did know you and we talked and you got to know me and you asked me if I wanted to kiss, I might have been into it. But the way you did it was just wrong.
Holy shit, a 90s movie that actually aged well? Is that even legal? One thing I found out looking through this movie's Wikipedia page, it originally was pitched and scripted as a theatrical movie. Ultimately, Katzenberg decided, nah, I don't think we want to make a third Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie. And it was shelved, and then only later was it picked up by Disney's new direct-to-video department, which had just made a couple of Aladdin sequels that had sold really well, and they're like, well, what else can we sequelize? But when it was decided to make this a direct-to-video movie, the budget shrank itself from 40 million to 7 million, and boy, you can tell.
Wow.
This movie never met a giant set that it wasn't willing to not build and instead just awkwardly blue screen the actors into. That was so fucking noticeable.
Obviously, the background plates were never expected to appear on anything but VHS, so
Yeah.
the obvious blue screen fringe around everyone, that would not have been there if you watched this on the original intended format.
Right, right.
That said, some of the shots, like when they're in the bubble or when they're going on the little race car track, not amazing, but done surprisingly well for the budget.
I don't know about that.
Most of the movie is just 4 actors randomly wandering around pretending like everything is so big around them. It's like you're watching an awkward improv group.
Carrie Kirkpatrick wrote the $40 million version of this script, and it was specifically Joel Hodgson and Nell Scovell's job to get it down to a $7 million budget. That was specifically their job on this movie, is to make everything cheaper.
Sheesh.
At its best, this movie kind of resembles a Joel invention exchange from MST3K of like the machine that can translate dog barks, or the fucking chili volcano that the kids just randomly decide needs to be a thing, I guess.
That was kind of cool.
That was the one scene in this movie that felt like Joel forcibly injecting some creative, chaotic energy.
It was very Tom and Crow.
And it didn't have anything to do with anything.
Oh no! The gods are getting restless and hungry! The village people forgot to make a sacrifice! Now they must become snacks! Behold my wrath!
Or the juice what makes you glow.
Right!
Oh,
that
God,
fucking
yeah.
glow jizz. Regardless of how well it makes you glow, there's no way that beverage isn't giving those guys cancer, right?
Oh, cool. They can make Honey, I Shrunk Our Tumors.
Those jokes are mean.
Too dark.
Just dark enough for this show.
Their mission is called Project Green Lantern to make the construction workers glow.
How's Project Green Lantern coming? Well, we cast Ryan Reynolds, so it should be going great.
But the fact that it's only their stomachs kind of makes me wonder, are their poops going to glow now?
Oh, definitely.
Most definitely.
That would have been interesting if that actually paid off later. I mean, shit, they reference cockroach turds.
This roach turd, this glowing man turd, there's something there.
The plot requires everything to be super convenient. Like, there just so happens to be a fishing reel on the windowsill, and there just so happens to be a fucking Hot Wheels track on the chest of drawers, and they just so happen to fall into the onion dip, and every step of the way in this script, there's just so many perfect conveniences that just tie up way too neatly.
The worst one to ever do so is the reason why the adults ended up shrinking.
Right.
Everything was constructed like a crazy Ruth Goldberg machine.
Right.
To make these really stupid decisions, especially with the wives just suddenly coming in. Both the men and the women coincidentally just stand there where the shrinking ray would just shrink them.
How did this happen? What?
Exactly!
Is the machine whirring?
Yeah, that bothered me so much. Like, if you hear it, maybe you should do something about it.
Oh, don't worry. No one's in the house to press the button. Yeah, no one consciously pressed the button in the first movie either. The baseball flew through the window, remember?
It's just kind of like gun safety. Like, hey, don't stand in front of the loaded gun.
Yeah, these people are fucking asking for it, really. I mean, the wives are so looking forward to go on this vacation, and then they have to come back to the house to make sure the kid has his medicine, but then just randomly, oh, let's go upstairs and see what they're doing as soon as we leave. Didn't you have a vacation to go on, lady?
Not to mention, all this is going on because of this random tiki head that Wayne really wants to keep.
The entire movie revolves around the damn tiki man.
It feels like this out of nowhere random object that feels completely out of place on this entire franchise, and yet that is the key component to why is it they have to be shrunk in the first place.
I only made 2 notes. One, tiki head with like 20 question marks behind it. And then what the fuck was this movie?
Tiki Head's a lot funnier than other characters we've had in this franchise so far. If we get Tiki Head working, then, you know, I'm trying to do a George Lucas Jar Jar bit, sorry.
Okay. I guess there was some weird tiki trend in the 90s. I vaguely recall that being a thing, maybe, but it makes no sense that Wayne Szalinski, who's invented all these things and is very much a man of science, still believes in the fucking tiki gods.
We should get rid of that piece of junk tiki man.
Shh, you'll anger him.
Maybe he got sacrificed in a volcano because he's still a virgin or something. I don't know.
Hey.
He has kids.
Those kids are adopted.
He probably had a life-changing experience when he went to the Enchanted Tiki Room.
Well, who hasn't?
There's just something about it that inspired him so much.
Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. That's how they makes the audience disappear.
Of course.
It's weird seeing the new Disney logo on this thing.
Yes.
I distinctly remember this having the glowing castle on blue logo from the 90s. And by the way, I checked. The first 2 Honey, I Shrunk movies on Disney Plus do have that old school logo. That's how randomly they assign the new logo to older movies.
Not to mention, they presented that logo in full screen.
Right,
because they decided to keep the same format.
And I will say this, not every made-for-TV or direct-to-video movie from the 90s is presented in the 1:3:3 aspect ratio on Disney Plus. A lot of them are cropped for widescreen, so at least they got that right.
When I put this on, my boyfriend came in and was like, oh, I used to love this movie as a kid. I watched it over and over again. And then immediately told me that the daughter was in some kind of sex trafficking cult.
Yes!
What?
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. We have to talk about this.
Is this the same one as Kristen Crook in What's-Her-Face from Smallville?
I don't know.
Garrett, this girl is What's-Her-Face from Smallville.
Oh, is that Chloe? Oh, my gosh.
Yes, Allison Mack, who later played Chloe on Smallville and was sent to prison for being involved in a sex trafficking cult.
Oh my God.
I'm not fucking kidding. That is who that is. So that speech she gives on the importance of consent is really good until you remember who's saying it. So when her mom, played by Budget Julia Sweeney, says, now don't have any boys or parties at the house while we're gone, and she says, Mom, don't you trust me? Of course fucking not. You're in a sex trafficking cult. What the hell?
Woof.
I guess she trafficked her victims by shrinking them. I mean, it's effective. You can traffic people in your pocket, for God's sake. So anyway, there's 2 boys and a girl. One of the boys, like we said, is Bug Hall. The other boy is not exactly famous, but I know of him because he played Reggie in Richie Rich's Christmas Wish, which I covered on this podcast a couple Christmases ago, and he was easily the best part of it.
No Christmas lights, no Christmas turkey, no Christmas trip to Grandma's house, no Christmas, period.
I need taffy!
In this movie, not so much. He's just this kid with a potassium deficiency who will faint if he doesn't either take his medication or eat a banana.
I was thinking that. I was like, why are we giving him pills if he could just eat a banana?
God knows how much money this family is paying to Big Pharma when a fucking banana will keep him healthy.
It's like a shortcut to give that explanation that Wayne's son actually knows something about science. It's like, how do you know about potassium?
Why did you turn into Sam Eagle for a second there?
I learned that bananas are a good source of potassium from that Space Ghost segment at the end of the Mask VHS tape.
We have a nice banana yellow zoot suit and mask.
Bananas are a good source of potassium.
That's true.
So very, very true.
Like I said in the intro, Marcia Strassman did not come back for this movie. The new actress playing Diane is Eve Gordon, who at the time was best known for playing Marilyn Monroe in a miniseries about Jackie Onassis. She is like 12 years younger than Marcia Strassman, and she's still married to Rick Moranis, who is of course the same age. And she's only 11 years older than Amy O'Neill, who played the daughter in the first movie. Fucking Hollywood.
Wait, you tell me Louis Tully can't pull a young wife?
Apparently by crashing into her car.
Heck, I only met Diane because I bashed into her car.
But there's now been 3 different Diane Zelinskis. Marcia Strassman in the first 2 movies, Eve Gordon in this movie, and Barbara Allen Woods in the TV series.
Speaking of casting, my wife's favorite Christmas movie is The Santa Claus, so we watch it every year. And I was convinced that Ricky King was played by the jetpack elf.
Don't worry. We're the good guys. Come on, let's go save Santa.
Don't worry, Charlie. We're the good guys. Let's go save Santa.
Oh, yeah, that
exact same cool 90s kid voice. Was not him, apparently.
Well, Disney spent most of the 90s manufacturing clones of that kid.
Those types of characters remind me of that kid from Home Improvement.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
JTT, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the potassium deficiency kid kind of struck me as budget JTT in a way.
He had that very specific parted down the middle bowl cut.
Even though if you've seen Man of the House, you know JTT was already budget JTT. But anyway, Rick Moranis' brother, played by Stuart Penkin, was named Gordon. I wonder if that was a subtle homage to Stuart Gordon, the late great horror movie director who co-wrote the first movie.
Maybe.
Could be.
It would be really cool if they remade this, but a horror movie where things actually go wrong and people actually die.
That would be a great way to remake Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, is just go full-on horror with it, because I think that's how Stuart Gordon originally envisioned it.
Little more Fantastic Voyage energy.
There's a really dark, gory version of this premise that someone should definitely make. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, if you will. So anyway, the movie opens with that mailbox machine where we're just supposed to imagine the underground tunnels that the mail is going through, because this had a $7 million budget.
Isn't that way more complicated than just getting up?
Yep.
And then it landed in the cereal anyway, and I'm like, just get up.
He's a man of science.
He's an inventor. He's got to dig up the whole front yard to make these stupid tunnels.
He's a gadget dad, just like Mark Wahlberg.
Wayne Szalinski would have prevented 9/11. He would have shrunk the terrorists.
We know exactly how this movie got its money because, oh my god, the product placement was everywhere.
There was Honey Nut Cheerios and Trix prominently displayed in the kitchen. When they were climbing up the speaker, you have to know that it's a Sony speaker specifically, so you suddenly want to buy Sony products. And by the way, I am not an expert on how speakers work, but there's no fucking way they work like that.
No.
It's not complete bullshit, because I know if you mess with your headphones at least, you can use them as microphones instead of as speakers, but I don't know if full-size speakers can do the same thing, though.
I gave up on the whole scientific angle on this when I saw the bubble scene.
Yeah, I know these people are tiny, but they're still made of solid matter, and yet when they jump into the bubbles don't immediately pop. I call bullshit.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you notice when they were jumping, suddenly, whoop, it's like they were sucked into the bubble?
Oh yeah, I know how to do that on After Effects.
Up the keyframes a little bit.
They also do an out-of-nowhere Butch and Sundance reference.
Ready, Butch? Ready, Sundance?
Oh, shoot!
Okay, this is a PG-rated direct-to-video Disney movie. We know you're not gonna scream, "Aw, shit!" when you're jumping. So don't make the fucking reference. If you have to reduce yourself to saying, "Oh, shoot," to quote George Carlin,
"They can't kid me, man. Shoot is shit with 2 O's."
There were a few instances that they got away with swearing. Wayne said crap, and I think
that's not swearing, come on.
There's a crap, a damn, and a hell. That's the George Carlin bit for kids.
For a direct-to-video 90s family-friendly film, it has a tiny bit of an edge.
It's a little bit like the couple episodes of Hey Arnold where Helga drops a crap. Ooh, they did one of the 3 that we're allowed to use sometimes.
By the way, the bubble sequence was one of the ways they shrunk the budget of this. In the more expensive draft of the script, they got downstairs by jumping into an aquarium. Where they would have been almost eaten by giant goldfish, I guess. But we can't afford a big underwater sequence. Let's just have them float around in bubbles, and that can be done with just more blue screen. We'll get the DP from Roger Rabbit to waste his time on a movie full of blue screen.
But $10 does buy you an insane amount of snacks, apparently.
Yes! Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Wayne gives the kids $10, and they're rollerblading home, because of course they're on rollerblades.
Must have been dark times, those 90s.
Carrying several big grocery bags full of snacks.
I'm looking up how much chips were in the 90s.
Admittedly, the 90s were quite some time ago, but even back then, I don't think $10 went that far.
What? Okay, this can't
Maybe
be right.
the 80s, maybe.
It says chips were $2.96, and that nowadays chips are $7.
Huh.
Chips are not $7. Are chips $7?
Maybe really high-end chips.
I would say, like, give or take 5.
We're talking those kettle cooked chips, baby.
Yeah, I think I've seen big bags of kettle chips for $6.95.
I don't buy chips, but my god, chips are expensive.
You know, 90s nostalgia is a trade-off. On the one hand, you could buy all those groceries for $10, apparently, but also you had to actually remember phone numbers. So, you know,
God.
Yeah, true.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
They didn't give us a phone number.
Nightmarish.
And not only does $10 buy all those fucking snacks, but they were also apparently at the store for hours because the parents were able to climb up that entire wicker chair in the time it takes them to go to the store.
Store might have been far.
Yeah, it might have been.
I've rollerbladed to the corner store a couple times in my ancient youth days, and that's a trek.
So they use the fishing reel that just so conveniently happens to be on the windowsill to get down to the lower windowsill, and you'll notice when they land, you don't see them land.
Yep.
We see the reel stop, and then it cuts to them on the sill having landed, because $7 million budget. What the hell are you gonna do?
Naturally.
I have a very distressing question to ask. What happened to the dog? Because there was definitely a dog in the first movie. It was the iconic image of the movie of the shrunken kids crawling off the dog's nose. I don't remember if the dog was still in the second movie. I think he was.
It was definitely in Shrunk the Audience.
Wayne, you didn't.
Honey, I did. I blew up the dog.
And definitely in the Shrunk the Kids TV series. No dog in this movie. Either the dog died or the dog got shrunk. I don't like to think about it.
Maybe the moms kenneled it because they didn't trust the dad and the kids to keep it alive.
Maybe. You know what? Yes, they kenneled it. Really, they just couldn't afford to hire an animal wrangler on this fucking movie, so no dog.
All the parents have their very obvious arcs. Oh, I gotta learn to take in the details of the world around me more, and I need to stop sweating the small things with my husband.
Wah, wah.
Gosh dang it. The brother's arc is, don't you try to assuage us with your interpersonal skills that we've told the audience you have.
Well, they do that scene at the beginning where Wayne's giving that lecture at Innoventions or wherever.
You mean at the top of a Chuck E. Cheese?
It looks like it. He's stammering and stuttering and dropping his notes.
Did you see that jerk? He dropped his notes.
And then Gordon swoops in and saves the presentation, I guess, with a magic buffet.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what's supposed to set up the ending where Wayne makes Gordon the president of the company because he's better at telling people where the food is.
I should be inventing, like Mark Wahlberg.
Because, yeah, at some point between the second and third movies, Wayne apparently founded a company called Zelinsky Labs, and there's a whole sequence where they walk through the factory floor, and it's basically Joel Hodgson's excuse to burn off a couple invention exchanges.
Every little machine does some kind of strange cartoony sound effect. Honestly, this movie reminds me a lot of Disney's Inspector Gadget. It has that similar style.
It's kind of that, but far less obnoxious. The Inspector Gadget movies, both the first one and the direct-to-video sequel, are just fucking assaulting you with so much CGI nonsense and dumb Hanna-Barbera sound effects at all times.
Everything gooey does the same squelch sound.
I like those movies.
The squelching is a nice sound.
I hated the first movie even when I was a kid. few months ago, I did a live tweet of Inspector Gadget 2, and I fucking hated it. I'm sorry. This movie is the more restrained version of that.
It's not 100% that, but you're getting into that territory.
So the previous movie, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, ended with the giant baby nearly destroying Las Vegas. And you can't just Men in Black neuralize the entire population of Vegas, so the general public by this point must know, okay, this guy invented a shrink/enlarging ray, that's just a thing that exists now. And in this movie, the Smithsonian even wants to put it on display.
I'll pack it up this weekend and your movers will come on Monday and take it to Washington. Oh, by the way, feel free to use it to shrink the national debt.
Oh, so that's how Clinton did it.
Heyo.
Heyo, indeed. Now, they haven't straight up confiscated the machine, because that would be too smart and then we'd have no movie, but of all the government agencies, the FDA said that Wayne couldn't use the fucking shrink ray anymore?
I was curious about that. Is it a drug?
What does the Food and Drug Administration have to do with a shrink ray?
They don't want him making giant fruit, maybe?
Have shrunken people been legally reclassified as food? That's fucked up. There was that random joke which came the fuck out of nowhere and didn't tie into anything. It was just a, oh, parents are lame joke with the leaf blower and the mom yelling over it.
Adam! I just so you'll have plenty of clean underpants!
And then suddenly the entire neighborhood is just there playing street hockey.
I think that was just generic parent embarrassment and also to set up that laundry thing later.
Yeah, okay, they were setting up the laundry, fine. But I will say, Carrie Kirkpatrick must really love that joke because he later wrote it into the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movie.
I guess most of the people who come to these sort of parties are drunken idiots.
What?
I said all these people are idiots. God.
A lot of the setups and payoffs in this, it's super obvious. Everything in the first 15 minutes, oh, the daddy long leg is going to come back, the laundry thing comes back.
Of course.
I don't know if we have as many movies that are written like that anymore. Either the setups are more subtle or they just don't really think about it as much. I kind of miss obvious setup and payoff movies.
There were definitely another signifier of the 90s in this thing. I kind of miss them too.
I'm actually surprised how little shrinking there was or how long it took to get to it.
Right, right.
I have the Disney Plus with commercials, and by the first commercial break, I don't think we got to any shrinking yet, and I was like, what are we doing here?
Oh, you got the Disney Channel experience out of this one then.
Yeah.
That was very much the vibe. This was the first time I've ever seen the movie from beginning to end. I don't think I ever caught the beginning when it was on TV. And I had no context for the Tiki Man.
Well, even in the finished movie, we don't have much context for the Tiki Man.
It was there.
There's also the whole thing about baseball camp, the kids tired of going to science camp. That led to an ending that wasn't earned.
Is that still a part of the average suburban child experience where it's like, what camp are my parents going to drop me at all summer?
It definitely was in the 90s. I'm not sure if it's so much that anymore. Maybe nowadays, since kids are on their phones 24/7, their parents are like, they're not bothering me. They don't need to go to camp.
The smallest one, it made me happy, one, that they were reading Archie comics, and two, he looked like a little baby Archie, and that made me happy.
It looked like baby Archie, and he's singing that classic Great Green Gobs of Greasy Grimy Gopher Guts song.
What was that song?
Yeah.
Oh, you've never heard it? It's a schoolyard classic.
Great green gobs, greasy grimy gopher guts, mutilated monkey meat, dirty little birdie feet, French fry eyeball swimming in a pool of blood, me with my spoon, but I've got a straw.
Baby boomers knew that song too. Like, my mom remembers that song, so I love the outrage of, where could my son have learned such vulgarity?
I've never heard that
before in my life.
Penn Jillette covered it at one point. He did a full studio recording of it.
And I forgot my spoon, but I got my straw.
And speaking of music, these ladies are huge Neil Diamond fans.
Are you not?
I like his stuff, but they're so fucking excited that she brought a cassette tape of some fucking live album he did in the 70s.
They're suburban boomer moms. They love Neil.
I can't imagine that cassette would have been that rare at the time.
There's just something funny that the rebellious side of these women is that they would like to jam to Neil Diamond.
Just blasting the speakers with Cracklin' Rosie.
He's like a much less overtly sexual Tom Jones.
I guess.
Ooh, we can get a little wild with Neil.
But no, they don't actually play the tape because they couldn't afford to license it.
Naturally.
$7 million budget.
They spent it all on the dang Hot Wheels track.
Yeah, the Hot Wheels track. The scene where they Buzz Lightyear'd this shit.
Oh my god.
Falling with style.
That whole Hot Wheels scene was an editing nightmare.
Oh my god.
It felt like such a jumbled up mess where it has to keep cutting to like a camera just looking at the Hot Wheels track going through the course, and then we see the blue screen shot where everybody is freaking out in the cars
right.
like they're in a roller coaster, and we get a POV shot of the car going through the entire track, and it's jumping one after another. It just felt so disorienting.
Wait a second! The Shark Turbo Booster is terrible in the loop! What is this deep Hot Wheels lore that the dads know?
Yeah, they did their fucking Hot Wheels homework. They referenced very specific cars in the Hot Wheels lineup that I had to Google. I didn't even know about this shit.
Imagine if we were in the Twin Rover!
And I love how that car specifically, coincidentally, has 4 seats that they could all fit into.
Why the hell not?
I'm trying to think if any of my Hot Wheels had 4 seats. I know they were all full of gack because I put gack in them.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's what this movie was missing, the gack!
Well, it had the onion dip. I feel like onion dip is just edible gack, really.
Yeah, true.
I will never fucking eat onion dip again after this movie.
I'm curious what they were swimming in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like just paint.
I kind of love that after the Hot Wheels sequence, when the shrunken parents land in the laundry hamper, the kids immediately take the laundry hamper back up to Adam's room, thus rendering that Hot Wheels sequence completely pointless. Because that looked like the most expensive sequence in this movie. It was the one where they spent $6 whole instead of $5, and it didn't accomplish a goddamn thing, which I kind of love.
Bug Hall had a crush on Mila Kunis because, oh, she plays Little League and she's awesome.
Yeah, that's the one acknowledgement they make towards Mila Kunis' character, which doesn't pay off at all.
The girl plays Little League? Yeah, and she's awesome.
Wow, the 90s really was the space between spaces, wasn't it? They had no idea which decade it wanted to be.
It's pre-Sandlot 2, where you play ball like a girl was the point of the movie.
So the party these kids throw when they think their parents are away is objectively really lame. Like, they're not even drinking real booze, they're drinking ginger ale and pretending it's champagne.
You know, if you put enough sugar in this stuff, it tastes just like ginger ale.
The snacks are carefully arranged. At least half of the adult parties I go to don't arrange the snacks as carefully as they did.
I like that nu metal song.
Oh god, that fucking generic-ass music they're playing. Off-the-shelf stock bullshit, because they couldn't afford to license real songs!
I have a question for you guys, because you wrote guys in the era where this would have been a thing. If a girl just called you like that and was like, I think you're cute, and then you hear an eruption of giggles, and then they hang up the phone, would that get you to come over?
No.
I used to fucking dream of that shit happening to me.
That happened to me exactly once, but they kept doing it.
Oh.
Can you come up with a pet name for a friend who has a crush on you? I'm like, no, but she's having a really bad day. I don't know this person. How did you get my number?
I mean, maybe if you're a fucking future rapist, like this kid clearly is, but normal people wouldn't do that.
Okay, I was just checking.
Oh, she likes me? Well, I don't like her because that's dumb.
Yeah.
You're still not fully out of that zone. How old were they? Like 15 at most?
Yeah, something
maybe?
like that.
Oh, I thought they were like 12. I have age blindness with children.
How often do they actually cast age-accurate actors?
Right.
Oh, I think that's probably messed with me, yeah.
When Gordo on Lizzie McGuire was getting his masters.
When they're setting up the party, they're putting up Marsupilami streamers. Does anyone remember Marsupilami?
Kind of.
It was this 90s Disney cartoon about this spotted marsupial thing that lived in the jungle.
Oh, that thing.
Marsupilami come and run into the jungle. Got the tail to tell we'll have a swinging time singing. Booba! 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 Marsupilami.
It was Disney trying to have their own version of the Smurfs, because I know Marsupilami started out as a Belgian comic.
Right.
It was one of the rare occasions that you actually see a Belgian comic suddenly get popular in the US.
I went to a French school. I remember seeing comics of it in the library.
And that show's not on Disney Plus for whatever reason. I think the party decorations in this movie are the most Marsupilami we'll ever see on Disney Plus.
I've never heard of this thing, and I thought you were talking about like a late Zaboomafoo Amba Macamba situation.
See, I don't know what Zaboomafoo is. Again, different generations of childhood.
Nature show for kids.
I know what Zaboomafoo is.
Sounds like a Barnes and Barnes album.
By the way, there's a live-action Marsupilami movie. I found this out when I Googled it.
Oh, yes, that is true.
It came out in 2012.
Is Disney involved?
No.
No. It's a foreign film. I think it's either the Belgians or the French.
Is this like that Woody Woodpecker movie that was only released in Brazil?
I was literally just going to bring that up.
Like
Very much so, yes.
He's a CGI abomination.
Well, speaking of CGI abominations, should we talk about the fucking Roach Motel scene with the bad CGI cockroach?
This is the bug they don't befriend?
I hated every part of that.
I mean, Garrett, you mentioned giant bug corpses earlier. There's one in this movie in the fucking Roach Motel.
It's all I wanted.
How long it took for Rick Moranis to suddenly realize, oh, I gotta go save my wife.
Yeah.
She got her shoe stuck, and then the next shot is actually Wayne immediately trying to bolt out with the rest that are trying to survive.
No, yeah, I noticed that. I was like, your wife, you forgot your wife. Okay, she's dead.
Lord.
Why didn't she take her shoe off?
Yeah, shoes are removable, lady. You got the shoe and the glue. Fucking women in their shoes, am I right?
Just run, kick it, I don't know, do something.
You know, I kind of feel sorry for Diane as a character, regardless of who plays her, because I don't know how many of you have seen Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, but the big climax of that movie was them realizing, oh shit, our giant 100-foot tall baby isn't responding to anything. The only thing he will respond to is his mother.
The problem is to Adam, his mommy is somebody much bigger than he is.
So we need to grow Diane to like 200 feet tall, and then she'll be able to get him under control. So this lady was a 200-foot tall human kaiju in the last movie, and now she's the size of a bug. It's not fair. Not fair how Hollywood diminishes women. Hey-o.
She won't even let her husband have a giant tiki. Man, she was secretly jealous that he's got a fixation on giant things now, and that she's not giant enough for him anymore.
That's why he built the shrink ray in the first place, whether he knew it or not, was to indulge their shrink kink.
Shrinky kinks, shrinky dinks.
You know, I always appreciated the scientific use of that machine, but never its marital implications.
And we gotta talk about the daddy longlegs scene, where the moms do the shrunken equivalent of Androcles removing the thorn from the lion's paw.
Daddy longlegs are good bugs. They eat mosquitoes and leave humans entirely alone.
Even as a kid, that always confused me, because I always thought, okay, if daddy longlegs eat other bugs, why isn't it eating these women who are the size of bugs?
That's what I thought it was going.
How would the daddy longlegs know the difference? And then there's the shot where the women are being carried up the wall by the giant daddy longlegs, and they're talking about salad recipes.
So then I just toss in some garbanzo beans and crumble in some tortilla chips, and I call it a Mexican salad.
That is great. I'm going to have to try that sometime.
The other thing, you can call something a Chinese salad if you throw in some of those mandarin oranges and some of those little Chinese chung fu squiggly little noodles.
That felt like the epitome of something that was funny on the script page, but I don't know. In the movie, the effect didn't work nearly enough for the contrast to work for me.
There is also something that's just so oddly weird. The way they try to make the daddy longlegs cute.
Yeah.
Not only with the big glowing eyes, but also adding high-pitched sound effects to make it seem more appealing, to make it seem like a puppy in a sense.
Yeah, that puppy noises.
And calling him daddy the whole time.
Yes, when Diane says, "Daddy, come back, we need you." You know, last time we covered an episode of the Superhero Squad show where the Stan Lee mayor at one point, I shit you not, says, "Smack me, daddy," as an exclamation. So I cannot get away from characters saying daddy on this Patreon request month. What the hell is wrong with my patrons? This is definitely intentional on their part.
I kept thinking that would be a good TikTok sound.
Are we going to make daddy come back happen on the TikToks?
I kind of want to do that.
Make it happen. Make it so.
Bring the meme back, daddy.
So according to Wikipedia, in the expensive version of this script, the party was originally going to be much, much bigger. It was going to balloon out of control into basically the party from of 16 Candles, where the bully kids show up and they invite a bunch of kids and those kids invite a bunch of kids and eventually there's like 200 kids there.
Sally Field was gonna come home and ask for a divorce.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of thing.
You ate my begonias!
Yeah, that's where I thought I was going when the boys were like, let's show them what a real party is.
Well, where my mind went when he says, let's show them how to have a real party, let's go down to Steerage and do some Irish folk dancing.
What?
He had the hair.
Yeah,
he had
did.
the hair.
Don't slander Leo's hair like that. It was much better than that.
This is the budget version of Leo's hair, but that's the hair they were going for.
Yeah, and this came out 9 months before Titanic, but they still knew.
Hey, Rose, why don't I teach you how to spin up a balcony? It's gonna be cool, Rose.
The bully kid, that fucking douchebag you thought was the Santa Claus elf, doesn't know about the shrink ray, apparently has no idea he's literally talking to the kid who nearly destroyed Vegas as a baby.
What's he shrink, hemorrhoids?
It felt like they were leading up to them shrinking the bullies. But you can't do that, because then either you're leaving the bullies shrunk, which would be too much for a Disney movie, or you unshrink the bullies and then they don't get proper comeuppance. And speaking of comeuppance, once the kids finally find the shrunken parents and they're just about to unshrink them, they have that moment where they say, wait a minute.
Do we really want to do this? I mean, I got a hamster cage in my room. I mean, we could leave them shrunk and they'll never tell us what to do again. Wow, total freedom. I suppose we could wait like a week.
And then the movie completely chickens out on that premise. They just say, let's give them another chance, and they unshrink them, and there's a bunch of dopey, unearned resolutions, and then the movie ends. Who cares? My biggest suggestion on how you would improve this piece of shit, make that the entire third act. Have the kids find the parents much earlier, do a fake-out non-ending where you think they're gonna be unshrunk and everything's gonna be fine, but then the kids change their minds, and the rest of the movie is a prison break movie where the adults launch this harebrained scheme to try to break out of the hamster cage and unshrink themselves. Hell, that's why the kids throw the party, because they know they can, and the party goes out of control, and the kids realize, oh shit, maybe sometimes we do need parental supervision, while the parents are learning, maybe we should respect our kids more, and then maybe they'll respect us in turn, and then the movie's actually fucking about something.
And who knows, that might have been from the $40 million draft.
Yeah, maybe, who knows.
Most family movies, you can kind of neatly compartmentalize them. It's like the Rugrats approach, where only the adults in the room are going to get the jokes that the adults are making, while the kids just want to see the babies go on adventures.
Right.
This is doing the same thing, but I can't imagine either demographic being sufficiently engaged by either half of this movie.
No, the kids aren't going to relate to the kids because they don't act like real kids, and the adults are just mostly going to be bored by this like we were.
To its credit, it felt like it was getting very close to being enjoyably cheesy with how dumb and over the top a lot of the scenarios can be. Stuart Pankin playing Gordon was enjoyable in a cheesy way.
Yeah.
The right amount of over the top.
Stuart Pankin did have a nice Jackie Gleason energy about him.
I liked him. I kept pointing at him and saying, I like them.
He was definitely the best part of the movie, but other than that, it often felt like there's always something that's just held back.
It's too low a budget for any of the effects to look good, but it's also too high a budget for it to be enjoyably cheap. This was just kind of bleh.
It wasn't so bad that I was having fun making fun of it, and it wasn't so good that I could actually enjoy it. I just kept getting bored. Can you please do more shrinky shit, or get bigger, or something? Do anything.
And by the way, after this movie was done, Disney Plus suggested Smart House.
Me too.
Fuck that shit. We are not starting this podcast over again.
The cycle will never end.
It all comes full circle!
Oh, God.
By the way, I actually really like Smart House.
You know, a lot of otherwise very smart people have told me that they like Smart House. Fucking Jenny Nicholson said the same thing when she was on this show.
My wife likes Smart House.
I don't get it. I don't think it's a good movie. I'm sorry.
It's an aspirational thing.
I always wanted them to make Intervention Smart House themed. That's what I always wanted when I was a kid.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Anarchy, because speaking of theme park theming, I do believe the time has come to answer that question that has baffled mankind and CGI Daddy Longlegs kind through the ages, namely, what's the attraction? So, like we said, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience existed at Epcot and Tomorrowland at Disneyland for a while, and the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie set adventure existed at Disney MGM Studios / Disney's Hollywood Studios for a while. Both attractions are gone now, but of course, people are gonna get even more nostalgic for the 90s than they already are, and eventually they're gonna scrape the bottom of the barrel to get to this franchise, and they're gonna watch Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves over and over and over again for some reason, and it's gonna be the most watched title on Disney+. Disney's gonna need to bring this movie in particular back into the parks. How are they gonna do that? Anarchy!
They're gonna put Tiki Man outside of the Tiki Room.
But the giant Tiki Man at the end where he's 100 feet tall.
The one that's way too big, it'll just cover up that whole area where you can get Dole Whip that used to be Aladdin's Oasis. It'll just destroy that and just be giant Tiki Man back there.
That's really under new management.
Oh, yeah.
Garrett!
I'm gonna piggyback onto Anarkees. The Tiki Man will dispense a bright, glowing milk mixture that makes your stomach glow and gives you glowing green poops.
Glowy Dole Whip.
Matt!
I want to continue on your story, Tony, where somehow the nostalgia of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and that whole franchise got so big, it even overshadowed Toy Story, which is why Disney will announce that they are going to do a complete retheme to Toy Story Land. It will be an expansion of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie set, or now Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves movie set, where a lot of it will remain the same, but now they're going to add much more brands, much more Hot Wheels and Tricks and Sony. It's going to be like Epcot during its beginning years. It's nothing but brands. Just replace Toy Story with Rick Moranis.
Well, I always love more Rick Moranis, but unfortunately, you're all wrong. Matt got it closest, but Matt, you missed out on the most obvious component of retheming Toy Story Land at Disney's Hollywood Studios to Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. You gotta turn the Slinky Dog coaster into the Hot Wheels coaster.
Oh, that is true!
Toy Story's on its way out anyway. Pretty much everyone's forgotten about it. Toy Story 4 was kind of underwhelming, and Toy Story 5's probably not going to be that much better, and no one saw Lightyear, so clearly the whole franchise is falling apart. We need to replace it with something relevant like Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. So, yeah, Hot Wheels coaster coming soon to Disney's Hollywood Studios, and then they'll probably just bulldoze all that to make way for more Galaxy's Edge.
And in either scenario, in Tokyo Disney, they'll obviously replace the giant Woody mouth that you walk into with Rick Moranis' mouth.
Of course. So, final verdict, folks, is Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves a Disney Plus or a Disney minus? Matt?
Considering that the adults have shrunken themselves and they were minus their average size, I think it is very fitting that we give this a Disney minus.
Garrett?
Disney minus. There's no, even small thing to take away from this. I wasn't even going for that.
Anarkee.
Minus. I hated this. I hated this so much.
Just straightforward. I hate it.
It was so boring. And then my boyfriend tried putting out Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and I was like, no more shrinking shit. I'm fucking done.
It is unanimous. Yeah, I gotta say Disney minus. I didn't hate it. And for what it's worth, Anarkee, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is a much better movie. You might actually like that one, but yeah, this one just didn't have the magic. It was so transparently cheap. It was so clearly just people saying, let's crank this thing out so we got another thing to release on video this quarter. Like I said, it's co-written by fucking Nell Scovell and Joel Hodgson, but you can't even really tell. It doesn't have any of their wit. I was briefly nostalgic for this thing, but I'm starting to see why products like this led me into my Disney sucks teenage phase. Gotta say Disney minus, but not the worst thing I've ever seen, and it is nice to see Rick Moranis on screen again. I missed the era when he was in movies, so it's a Disney minus, but an affectionate and wistful Disney minus. Who's got stuff to plug?
I am Anarkee, or It's Anarkee on all of my socials. I do cosplay and absolute nonsense. I'm just an adult child professionally. I've somehow turned that into a career.
Look at the room around you.
Exactly. You're in good company.
Speaking of adult child, I'm a musician. I've been songwriting my way through the Pokédex, so you can find me on most platforms under the name Il Neige. It's French. It's the worst name ever. Or if you just search Rock That Pokemon, you can find my stuff on YouTube.
You can mainly find me on my YouTube channel, Electric Dragon 505, where I mainly talk about Disney and animation stuff, as well as my own podcast, Animat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. On social media, you can find me on Facebook as Matt Brunet Animat, or on Instagram and Twitter as Animat505. I also got a Patreon, and yeah.
And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Tony Goldmark, and you can also follow this show on Twitter at EFVD Podcast. I've also got a Facebook fan group you can join called Some Jerk with a Fan Club, and I've got a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tony Goldmark, where you can find all 3 seasons of my web series, Some Jerk with a Camera, along with a bunch of other videos about movies and theme parks, and even a few scant episodes of this very podcast. You can find every episode of this podcast at pipedreampodcast.com, as well as all the usual outlets like Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. If you like what you've been hearing and you'd like to help us out, please subscribe, please leave a review, please give us 5 stars, please share with your friends and enemies. All that stuff helps us get discovered by the almighty algorithm. If you'd like to help us out even more, you can donate to my Patreon, patreon.com/Tony Goldmark, where if you pledge any amount, even the bare minimum of $1 a month, you get to hear new episodes of this podcast ad-free and 1 day early. Once again, that is patreon.com/Tony Goldmark. Special thanks to all my patrons. You don't know how much it means to me. And in particular, special thanks to Andrew Weiss for requesting Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. Well, Patreon Request Month just keeps on rolling along, and I am now joined by one of my very special guests on next week's episode, Josh Saucedo. How you doing, Josh?
Doing good, Tony. Doing good.
Are you ready to read off the randomizer's pick for our 3rd week of Patreon Request Month 2023?
I would say that I am.
Okay, Smart House, initiate random shuffle mode, please.
Initiating random shuffle mode.
Make a selection.
And the winner is...
Underdog, requested by Jinx Productions and Jonathan Liebrack.
Underdog! All right! Join us next week on Escape from Walt Disney as we continue Patreon Request Month with the 2007 movie Underdog.
Come on home where your video's playing. Good times are waiting, it's true. Come where your family is waiting for Walt Disney and you. Walt Disney and you. Walt Disney and you.